Well, President Cryil Ramaphosa has declared youth unemployment a national crisis. Youth unemployment currently stands at 55%. In his official Youth Day address in Polokwane yesterday, the president encouraged young people to consider venturing into entrepreneurship. He also called out for funders to support small, medium enterprises. Now, Siyabonga Magadla is the director of the SME Business Competition, an initiative meant to support startups, and he joins us now. Siyabonga, thank you so much for joining us this morning. What's your program all about?
So it's a business plan competition. It's aimed at companies or enterprises that are owned by young people. The intention is to create a business atmosphere or to cultivate a culture that encourages young people to go into business as one of the interventions that we need as a country in order to deal with the challenges that we're faced with.
Did you listen to the president's speech yesterday? What your thoughts? Because he touched a lot on youth entrepreneurship.
He did. I think it was a very positive and balanced presentation because he spoke to challenges that are facing young people, but he went further to speak about young people who are using their creative energies, their imagination as well as talents in order to come up with solutions that seeks to address some of the challenges that we're faced with. So he made specific reference. He mentioned young people by names as well as spoke to different programs and initiatives that they are doing, which is very encouraging because we seem to have this sense that it's all doom and gloom, and yet young people are not a homogeneous group, as you would know. There are some who are highly frustrated due to their circumstances, but there are some who are also doing good work out there in order for them to survive as well as to create employment.
What makes a business plan exciting when you look at all the inputs that are coming in? What makes you think, okay, this is the one we're going to fund?
Look, the reality is that a number of businesses that are established, they tend to fail within a year or 2 years of establishment.
It's a startup problem.
And there's a number of reasons for that. One of those is that most entrepreneurs fail to identify a niche in the market. They fail to create a unique value proposition in terms of the business that they are going into. So part of the things that we look for in some of those business plans is exactly that unique value proposition. In a saturated market, how is it that you intend to make sure that your business stands out? How do you make sure that you've got the competitive edge against other businesses that are competing in the same space as you are? Marketing is one of the biggest challenges that confront businesses because it's one thing to have a product, it's one thing to have a service, but if no one knows about the product or the service that you are offering, then it's as good as dead because you will not be able to penetrate the market, which is another important aspect. Once you establish a business, how is it that you intend to compete and make sure that you take your product to the market?
So do you just pay off the prize money and walk away, or do you assume a particular role in the business?
So one of the things, we established the initiative last year, so this will be the second year the initiative will be running. One of the things that we did is that we partnered with SABC Enterprise Development, which is a program that offers mentorship. It offers financial management, business leadership mastery, as well as leadership skills development. So once we've paid the money to the companies or to the enterprises, we then pair them up with SABC Enterprise for a period of 1 year so that they undergo that comprehensive program to make sure that there's someone who's monitoring the operations, their business. They are also assisted with any shortcomings that they may have in their businesses. So we don't just walk away. We've got that important partnership with SABC Enterprise Development.
Do you only do this for the winner? Because you might have people who have brilliant business ideas, but their business plan does not reflect this project that, if incubated properly, could really be a huge success.
So the prize money goes to the top 3 winners.
Okay.
So those are the ones that are taken into the SABC Enterprise Development Program. So from our experience last year, we've then gone on to partner with other institutions. For instance, this year, we are partnering with the local government SETA, which is one of the 21 seaters under the Department of Higher Education.
Oh, stunning.
So
that gives you a greater reach.
It does,
yeah.
Yes. So one of the things that we've committed to with them is that over and above taking the 3 winners who will undergo the SAICA Enterprise Development Program, LG SETA will also take some of the people who will not have necessarily won the cash prizes and take them through an enterprise development program. So now the scope is broader. It goes beyond the 3 winners of the first top cash prizes.
How are you able to have a national reach?
So one of the things that we do is that we use a lot of PR to communicate the message and to invite young people to make submissions. We also travel to provinces to undertake business planning seminars because we understand that not everyone knows how to put together a business plan. So prior to the closing date of the business plan competition, we travel to different provinces, we partner with municipalities, we are partnering with the NYDA this year to say that we'll use their facilities to undertake business planning seminars to assist young people to say this is how you put together a business plan, so that as and when they submit, all of them, they submit on an equal footing.
How's it been going in the past 2 years, and how do you hope that this project will make an impact in the long run?
As I indicated, we launched it last year and our experience has been great. We received over 300 submissions nationally and we had 3 winners from different sectors because the competition is open to all the sectors. We're a winner in the ICT space, we're a winner in the poultry space, we're a winner in agriculture as well as agro-processing. So it's been a very positive results that we've received, and the hope that we have is that enterprise development or young people going into the space of business is relatively low in the country. So with this particular business plan, we hope to inject funds into the businesses of young people. But beyond that, as I've indicated, we also provide them with the non-financial business development support. So our intention is that we cultivate a culture of enterprise development, because the challenges that we're confronted with, as much as we need to create employment formally, we also need to make sure that there are dynamic businesses that are able to play in the space of economic development. And it's businesses that are owned by young people, amongst others, that will be able to make that dent in terms of youth unemployment.
Not only dynamic, but this is just my sense, and I could be wrong, you work in this more than me, that we haven't really grasped the sense of the scale that is needed. We wake up with brilliant ideas and it touches 2 or 3 people, but the population of South Africa is growing, and so are the economic needs. How do you juggle, how do you work around that challenge of scale?
Yeah, you see, that's a very fundamental issue, because one of the things that we've come across is that you've got a lot of micro enterprises which do not necessarily contribute to economic growth in the country. It's companies that are very small, so the owners live from hand to mouth. Now, one of the things that you need to do, as we're trying to do now, is to make that intervention, to make sure that you grow those micro enterprises to become medium-sized enterprises that are able to contribute into the economy of the country. And one of our partners in this year's, because beyond the competition, by the way, we do a summit at the end of July, which is called the SME Sustainability Summit.
Okay.
So one of our partners in both initiatives is Proudly SA. Proudly SA, amongst other things, promotes access to markets, because that's one of the challenges that confront businesses, is to have a product, is to have a service, but not being able to take it to the market.
Make enough impact.
Yes, so Proudly SA is able to provide those interventions to say we assist small businesses to be able to access the market so that they can export, they can grow their products, and they can grow their companies, because that is what is missing. We've got too many micro enterprises which live from hand to mouth. Now we need to grow those to be medium to large enterprises.
Somebody watching now and thinking they're interested in this conversation, where can they get a hold of you?
So we've got a website which is sme.africa. If they can log on to sme.africa, they will get all the details about the competition. They will get all the details about the upcoming summit at the end of July.
Yeah, we spoke about the competition and the summit.
Yes.
What other activations do you have all over the country that people in different parts of the country can reach and attend?
So as I've indicated, we will be undertaking the business planning seminars in the different provinces. So we'll also populate the schedule of the areas where we'll be going to on the website. So we encourage people to keep in touch with us through visiting our website regularly, because we'll also be providing regular updates in terms of the areas that we'll be going to, where we'll be undertaking the business planning seminars, which will culminate into the seminar at the end of July, where we'll also be announcing the winners of the business plan competition.
Yeah. You interact with small business people sufficiently, and there's always been the sense that the big ideas come from the US. Facebook came from the US, Google came from the US, Instagram, all those big technological ideas, even in the fintech space. Have you gotten through some business ideas where we thought, shucks, this is something big. It could turn around things in South Africa, on the continent, in the world?
Look, we not at a big scale, I'll be honest. Most of the business ideas that we've come across are your conventional, your normal business ideas, but you come across one or two which you think are bright ideas, but not something that has not necessarily been done before.
Where's the blockage? Is it the education? Where is it in your experience?
Look, I think it is the education. I think it is the culture. Because one of the things that we've advocated for is that we need to introduce entrepreneurship education at a school level, to also start with the aspect of developing entrepreneurs at a very small scale. I mean, at a very low level, because young people, all they think about is to study and become employed in the conventional way. And we need to change that culture, we need to change that mindset, so that we ensure that young people think broadly about starting businesses. And the reality is that the culture as well, in terms of the mindset, the reality is that the education system has never prepared young people to be entrepreneurs. It has prepared them to be job seekers. And that's the culture that we need to change. I mean, even in terms of South Africa, as a country generally, as an economy, you would know that one of the things that we thrive on is to export minerals as well as other agricultural products in their raw material. And other countries, for instance, in Asia, they've gone beyond the issue of exporting minerals as well as agricultural products. They play in the space of electrical, electronics, as well as other engineering innovations, as you've indicated. So I think that exposure for young people at a young age is important. In fact, the speech of the president yesterday made reference to the fact that coding is one of the subjects that are being introduced at a school level. So we hope that through such interventions... Again,
there's another example where other countries introduced this like 10, 15 years ago, and it's like we're catching up.
It is one of the limitations that we have as a country, because we tend to take too much on dialogue and very little on action. I mean, there's a number of things that we speak about, but we're very thin on implementation. We speak about issues of beneficiation, for instance. If you speak about minerals in the country, we've been talking about exporting raw materials. Why is it that we're not creating beneficiation in the country? We're still debating that until today. By the way, we'll even run out of minerals before we are even able to start beneficiating, which is a lost opportunity. So we tend to dialogue a lot and be very thin in terms of implementation, which is one of our biggest challenges.
So another big conversation in the world is the changing of, the president speaks about it a lot, the future of work, the kind of work we'll be doing in the future. As you interact with young business people, potential business people, are they thinking about this, that, all right, we can create solutions for now, but we want to create bigger ideas and visions for the future?
Look, I mean, we speak about the fourth industrial revolution, and it's not a concept that I think as well we've defined as a country, the role that we clearly want to play. We are still debating whether it will take away jobs, it will not take away jobs. Some are scared about the prospects of what it will do for the future of work. Some are, to some extent, embracing the introduction of the fourth industrial revolution.
We have to embrace it, though, don't we? It's the only way we can try to find solutions in terms of how to make it work for us, isn't it?
It's one thing to embrace it, but it's something else to define your place within that broader fourth industrial revolution, because we've always been playing catch up as a country. There are things that we need to get right for us to even say that we'll play a role in the bigger economies in terms of the fourth industrial revolution. But to embrace it indeed, it is very important. But as I said, young people in the main, you seem to get a sense that they are still in the conventional way of doing businesses. As much as we speak the language of fourth industrial revolution, you don't get a sense as yet that we've defined our role or our place within that bigger space.
Siyabonga, thank you so much for coming through to talk to us this morning. Siyabonga Magadla is the director at the SME Business Competition. You were saying that website again is?
sme.africa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Let's take a break. You're watching The Agenda. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go away.